And I'm going to hand things over to Thomas Tapp, who's joining us as well. Thank you, Rachel. Thomas is we're gonna go from the Salish Sea up to Alaska, and Thomas is joining us from Alaska from AKDrone. So based in Valdez, Alaska, Thomas leads AKDrone. And SUAS training, sales and services company advancing the use of drone technology in oil spill response. Um, Thomas's full bio is in the bio document here, and I'll let folks look at it there. But I will just say, as I was exploring this work, part of my job assisting the coordinating committee is um, taking threads that folks would like to hear about work that's being done and understand who's doing that work. And as I started from a lead with Alaska DEC and through some of the folks on the coordinating committee and their colleagues at DEC kept coming around to the work that AKDrone does. So really well respected up in Alaska for your work with both industry and the state government. And really pleased to have you here today, Thomas, and share with us a little bit about, kind of this, what is really a field tool for this work. And I think, you'll frame it better than I, but really, like, a lot of folks are looking towards how to use drones more effectively across the West Coast in almost every jurisdiction is a topic of conversation. So I think a lot to learn from you and your colleagues in Alaska.
Awesome. Thank you. And I'm sharing my own slides here. Same thing that.
Yeah.
All right. Can you all see my slides? Yes. Same as Rachel. I can't see the full screen, so if you guys have questions or need to stop me, just go ahead and stop me. And so, man, I am super pleased and honored to be here today. I'm actually in Hawaii. I'm on vacation, and Meg had called me, and I'm so passionate about drones and drones being used in oil spill response. I didn't want to miss it, so I'm here. And I see there's a lot of theme of aloha shirts out there. I got my aloha shirt on, and so I'm excited to be in Hawaii, but be here with you guys. Yeah, so my name is Thomas Tapp. I am the co-founder and CEO of AKDrone. I am based out of Alaska Valdez. But before I get started, I just wanted to take a moment to give honor and express gratitude. It's just the way we work here. This is my first time attending this meeting, being with you guys as a group, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity to speak with you all today. A big shout out to ADEC, especially Melissa Woodgate, for recommending us to be here, for their continued support and innovation in Alaska. And thank you to the task force for creating this incredible platform for collaboration. It is an honor to be in this room with so many distinguished and accomplished professionals who dedicate their work to, protecting their environment. So just really quick, a little bit about my background. It is in the bio, but I think it's important to know the why behind, the data. And so I've spent much of my career working in and around the oil spill prevention and response community and here in Alaska with a focus on enhancing safety, situational awareness, and operational efficiency through technology specifically and drones specifically. So my roots actually go back to commercial fishing industry. I grew up in Prince William Sound, so protecting these waters that I'm close to isn't just a profession to me, but it's very personal. And I'm assuming it's to everybody that's on this meeting. So over the past decade, I've had the opportunity to work closely with Alyeska Pipeline Service Company, producing training and safety material for their SERVS program and gaining firsthand experience, with large-scale oil spill response operations across our sound. Those experiences eventually led to the creation of AKDrone, where our focus is on developing drone-based solutions for oil spill response and logistics and environmental monitoring throughout Alaska. Anyway, we've had the opportunity to build strong partners. Can you hear me?
I want to interrupt you a little bit. We can hear you great, but we can't see your slides. And
okay.
I wouldn't be this might be intro, but I also have a feeling you have a lot of great pictures that I would like to see.
Can you see them now?
No? We can see the black screen. It does look like you're sharing, and if you would like us to share, we're happy to too.
Your screen
Your
is
computer
paused.
might be
Okay.
on vacation mode as you are.
How's that? Can you see it now? No?
Still black. Computer, someone suggested your computer camera might be turned off. We can see you very well.
Hmm.
We aren't seeing the screen.
Hmm. It's like it's being blocked or something here.
Do you have
I do.
two windows? Because I wonder maybe if you switch which window is showing the presentation and which window.
Yeah. Hmm. Application, documents, docs. It says that window there, content only. Here, let me,
Maybe if you don't mind, Danny can pull up your presentation for you. I know it's a little bit to say. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yep.
see,
Um,
see the background there? Yeah.
we do, yeah.
Do you see my
We
notes
see
or?
we see your notes right now.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good then. At least I know I got in the right
Okay. Yeah.
place
Now
here.
we just see the slides. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry
Apologies for
about
the
that.
interruption.
Talking about technology and I'm getting it all messed up here. Okay, so you can see this right here, right?
We see what might be a screensaver. It's mountains with the sun in the middle, or it might be your first slide.
Yep. PWS shippers exercise endeavor. No?
No, let's see.
Yeah, I don't know why that's not working. Yeah, let me just go simple here. If you want to share, you can.
Yeah, Danny, if you would go ahead and share would be great, and
I
Thomas can just help you advance.
I did change up my slides since I had sent that to you, so but I think it'll be fine. You go ahead and share, and I can just go from what you're sharing.
We'll get that going. Can everyone see that with the logo on the front? Okay,
I
I
can
see
see
some
that.
thumbs up. Okay. Thanks for being flexible, Thomas. And yeah, we all, even those of us advanced in technology, this
No.
feels like have to call. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
All right, let's try this again. Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and skip ahead and just kind of get into the story, which is really about the Prince William Shippers exercise, the Endeavor. You could skip to the slide that says Prince William Sound Shippers exercise. Go to the next one. There we go. So this in actually stop right there. That's fine. Um, so we had a opportunity to work with a whole bunch of entities. So today my talk will focus on a joint drone operation we had with the opportunity to participate during the Prince William Sound Shippers exercise held in Valleys, Alaska, and conducted by Marathon Petroleum in October of last year. So AKDrone was invited by Marathon Petroleum to participate as part of a kind of a developing drone task force. There hadn't been a lot of drone operations. We work closely with SERVs, the Osro for Alyeska or the Department for Alyeska to move, do oil spill response. And there hasn't been a lot outside of doing just overview, overwatch, and they still want to do more of that. So the intent was to come and do live streaming of a pretty basic deployment just right outside Prince William Sound, pretty close to our community. So a group dedicated to exploring how unmanned aircraft systems can improve situational awareness during an oil spill response was the Drone Task Force. The exercise gave us the opportunity to demonstrate the integration of multiple drone platforms, live streaming technologies, and coordinating operations across different agencies and organizations. If you could, you're on the primary objectives. So just our first primary objective was safety. Our top priority was conducting all drone operations safely and without incident and a full compliance with the FAA state regulations. So first thing was to fly just under what we call basic Part 107 rules, which is your basic drone pilot license that you get when you first are flying commercially. And then to expand out with some of the certificate of authorizations to use beyond visual line of sight waivers and to partner with entities that had those that allowed us to expand our operations and test out some of those authorizations that were available to us. So the second was situational awareness. We aim to provide real-time aerial visuals of the exercise by live streaming from the field directly to the incident management team. This gave the command staff a live perspective of the drill area, enhancing decision-making and overall coordination. And third was testing and training. This was the opportunity for every team involved to test equipment practice complex flight operations and evaluate connectivity solutions. Kind of one of the biggest things is getting the technology to work in remote rural Alaska. That's something that's really important to probably most of you guys. How do we get it back to the incident management team so it's actually data that's usable, and learn from one another in a controlled and collaborative environment? If you want to go to the next slide. Yeah, so here's just some pictures of kind of how it was set up. On the left there, we have just some boom deployment with some Saner vessels. In the middle there is the IMT, where they had a pretty basic setup with a Teams meeting streaming from our drones to the incident management team. And then on the right there, you could kind of see some of the setup. If you want to go to the next slide. Yeah, go ahead and skip this slide. Actually, this is one that, yep. And so here's just some more pictures of the operation. Again, just some boom deployment in the top right there. You can see kind of how close we are to town. We had the benefit of being off of a dock for this practice, but most of the time we're flying off the back of vessels or, in remote locations, same scenarios. You go ahead and go to the next slide. Go ahead and go to the next one. These are all slides that I had taken out. I apologize. Okay, so field drone ops. My specific role in field drone ops was what we call air boss. And so, let's see here. Yeah, so my specific role as an air boss, which is essentially like the air traffic controller for the drone operations area. This role becomes essential when there's complexity in operation increases. For example, when you have multiple drones taking off and landing, operating and landing within the same area of operations. Much like air traffic control at an airport, the air boss is responsible for defining flight paths for takeoffs and landings, maintaining communication with each pilot, and ensuring that all aircraft movements are coordinated and safely and efficiently. To further mitigate risks, and prevent in-air conflicts, we define specific altitudes, regions of flight for each drone, establishing geofences to restrict flight boundaries and assign kind of dedicated airspace zones for each pilot. These procedures not only enhance, safety, but also ensure that operations remain smooth and professional, even in complex environments. So we really had this desire to test out, what could happen in a real event. A lot of time we're sending up one drone in these kind of scenarios, or when we're doing training events, but are not practicing for, a large scale event, and what happens when, multiple drones are needing to fly at the same time, and how do we, manage that? And so we had the opportunity to practice some of these things that we've known we've needed to implement. And so that was one of our objectives during this training exercise. Can you go to the next slide? Can you go to the next slide? I'm not seeing that there. All I still see is the AKDrone field drone ops. There we go. Yeah, so this is just kind of a sample of preparing for, our flight area. We follow FAA or aviation rules when we're flying drones. And I think there's kind of this mindset with drone operations that because of the type of tool it is, because it's a robotic, we're discovering a lot of entities kind of just get the drones, get a Part 107, start flying, and they don't spend too much time, developing their UAS program, and then they've run into a lot of problems. So it was a great opportunity for all of us to work together and to, create kind of more of that professional, drone operation with the planning and execution. And so one of the things we do is, there's a lot of planning that goes into it. You just don't go out and fly the drone. You set geo boundaries and you're setting locations at which you're going to fly. If you go ahead and go to the next slide. You're defining the location where you're going to take off. This was our area of operations, both our place where we were going to take off and land, both our technology trailer and place for observation. Everything we did in this operation was on land. Like I said before, everything we want to practice though is to be able to do it remotely. We had the benefit of being able to go to a dock but it's not always the case in Alaska, where we're going to be pretty much out in the sound or in a remote location. So everything we want to practice has to be applicable for those scenarios as well. So the area of operations was conducted on the Valdez City Dock, working with the city of Valdez. An area of the dock was blocked off to safely conduct the operations. I'm going to get more into kind of the partnerships, but one of the partnerships was local government, and they were instrumental in being able to, you know, define the places where we can do an operation like this and be able to secure those locations and allow us to do it. Speak with the government officials to allow us to use these locations in our community. If you can go to the next location or the next slide. So here you see 3 different areas. We've defined it with the zones being zone number 1 on the far right in the red, takeoff and landing area. It's a designated hot zone where only authorized personnel were allowed to enter for safety reasons. This is where the drone is going to be taking off and landing. Very important that we guard that very well. Area number 2, the yellow zone there, is reserved for pilots and essential personnel only. This was a distraction-free zone where pilots could focus solely on flight operations. This is extremely important. We see this all the time in every different industry we work with flying drones. Someone's flying a drone and they haven't really defined this distraction-free zone, and everybody wants to go up and talk to the person flying the drone and ask them to do stuff. So when you're building out a program like this, you got to really protect the pilots and really, you know, take them to a kind of higher level of distraction-free zones. So, and then we had a third area there, the green zone. It's called the observation area, designated space for observers to safely watch and learn about the operations. So each of these zones were clearly marked with safety cones and monitored by our team to maintain situational awareness and control. So while it was convenient to operate again from this land on the dock, but it's important that you can take this in same kind of concept. If I'm on a boat, I still can create these hot, you know, warm, cold zones similar to like a decontamination zone. Very similar kind of process where you're defining areas where you can fly from and then have a place of distraction-free zone and then a place where observers or other personnel can be. But you could do that on boats, you could do that on land, pretty much anywhere. Can you go to the next slide? Here you can see it in action. You can see how the cones are set at the end of the dock there. This is doing a demonstration of a heavy lift drone. You can see where all the personnel are set. Go to the next slide, please. This is just another view of the same area. Yep. Yeah, so for this drill, we had a number of entities participating, representing local government, state agencies, nonprofits, commercial, and even out-of-state technology suppliers. It was truly a collaborative effort designed to cross-train, share technology insights, and learn from each other. I mentioned our city, our local government. So the city of Valdez had a SUAS team. We're actually the trainers for the government. They played a major role in the operation. Though they don't do oil spill response, they wanted to come for emergency response, and if anything was happening within the borough that they are in charge of, they wanted to be aware of it. So they provided access to the mission area. That they helped coordinate with city officials and supported us with both their team and drone platforms. So they had a bunch of team members that came and trained with us and had a bunch of drone platforms that we were able to cross-train with as well. Through the City of Valdez partnership with the State of Alaska Department of Transportation, we were allowed to access their drones as well. And they had this Skydio X10, which is an American-made drone. It's becoming really popular in the U.S. But with the equipment that they had, we were able to operate with that specific equipment. We could operate under their certificate of authorization. This allowed us to fly beyond visual line of sight, which is a big deal when you're flying drones. You quickly find that you are within the distance of usually 1.5 miles, and it's really difficult to see these drones that we're flying, but to fly them legally and within FAA rules, we need to enact these authorizations or waivers to be able to basically get more out of these drones, be able to do more operations that are beyond what the basic Part 107 allows us to do. And so this was a great opportunity to safely test the limits of that technology, explore how beyond visual line of sight could be used to expand the range of the drone operations in future spill response scenarios. So this was awesome because not every entity has to have an authorization like that. But again, kind of what you guys are doing with your collaboration with an entity that you can partner with that has an authorization, we can enact some of these things that you couldn't do normally. So that was a great opportunity to do that. On the nonprofit side, we had the OSRO Cook Inlet Spill Prevention and Response, or CISPRI. They were instrumental in the success of the operation by leading our safety briefings and supporting field drone ops. They were one specific team that helped do drone ops. We had 3 teams specifically. We had AKDrone, we had CISPRI as one, and we had our city of Valdez as the third. We all were flying not simultaneously, but in a, each person had a block of time to go and do operations. So we had connectivity through Starlink, which worked really well. It's become really popular all over Alaska for drone operations, as well as a bunch of other connectivity needs. To enable live streaming from the field to the incident management team. We did not use cellular, though we had that as a backup. We did not use any fiber optic. All we used was Starlink for our connectivity. So our last entity was AKDrone ourselves. We had taken the lead on the field drone operations, managing mission planning and providing an air boss to coordinate multiple drone flights, and operating a mobile command trailer, which allowed us to have some screens and be able to manage that technology going back and forth between the field and the IMT, which served as the hub for live streaming and field communication. So yeah, through our partnerships with AgriSpray Technologies, this is another one. This is a drone supplier. This is all about getting as many entities involved and connected together to do these operations. They were able to come and do some demonstrations of some heavy lift drone platforms, and just kind of show outside of just the optic style drone operations that we do, and looking at what we can do to maybe, carry objects, loads up to 55 to 88 pounds, and how we can use drones to kind of fill a need in between a helicopter and a boat. And so we kind of looked at some applications like that. You go ahead and go to the next slide. I know I'm getting pretty close on time here, or maybe over the time. How we doing, Rachel? Or Meg?
Thomas, you're great. We'll take, take your time with the rest of these, and we'll take a little break after you're done, but no need to rush. Yeah, the photos are fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry, I got kind of mixed up there, but the end is pretty much near, and it's pretty much just photos for the rest here. So you can kind of see some of the stuff going on. We had a lot of different technology. I think that was one of the big things that we got out of this. We had legacy technology, like older drones, the predominantly DJI Chinese-made drones, and we were using them side by side with some of the newer technology. There's different workarounds that you have to do to get live stream to work, but they still work. And what I mean by legacy, we're talking 5 years old. In drone world, 2 years is an old drone. Excuse me. So the technology is moving so quick with different sensors and optics, capabilities, as you can see here in this picture. We have in the top left is a DJI drone. It's got all sorts of technology on it, everything from speakers to fancy spotlights to thermal cameras. It's weather rated, so you can fly it in all different types of rain. And we have tested it beyond the, like manufacturer's capabilities. That's something that we're really interested in, to make sure the technology actually does what it says it's going to do. So we spend a lot of time sending the technology out in harsh conditions. The bottom left there is a Skydio drone. Like I said, that's the American-made drone. It's pretty much one of the only American-made drone that is available to the public to use for these types of operations. There's a handful of other ones coming up, but this is the one manufacturer that is producing a reliable product that we trust. On the right side is the heavy lift drone. You can see it there. It's carrying some bags. Pretty impressive to see what these heavy lift drones are capable of doing, and really excited to see what they'll be doing in oil spill support. Thought a lot about how you can use heavy lift drones in contaminated areas where you would normally need to take a boat in and out of a contaminated area, now where you could take a drone over there to drop off things from, say, a barge to a vessel that's cleaning up oil. So there's a lot of different applications in which these can be used. You go to the next slide, please. Here's just some images of the inside of the trailer. We got the Coast Guard there, just viewing what the drones are seeing, just some different perspectives, everything from the mapping, the planning, the ability to, there's endless amounts of data that you can be collecting, but to make it really valuable for the IMT, that was what we were working on during this operation, is what is valuable for the decision makers, and how do we show that in a way that is effective. And so these are things we were practicing during this event. You go ahead and go to the next slide. Yeah, just some more pictures of the operation. You can see multiple different entities. The guys in black are from the city of Valdez. The guys in the top right corner there, that's the CISPRI. And you can see the Coast Guard guys in the bottom right observing. So it was very rewarding. We had opportunity for each of the entities to be flying at different times. One of the other things we wanted to try out during this one was flying multiple drones at the same time. Have two ships in the air at the same time, and then they both have geographical areas that they are to fly in. And so that's a little more complex than just flying one drone. You could add on 2, 3 different drones flying at the same time. But with that airboss structure, you can mitigate and fly in and out safely without having an incident. And that's what we were experiencing. So you go ahead and go to the next slide. The rest of this is actually, go ahead and go to the next slide. Yeah, this is stuff that was kind of in my other presentation. You can go ahead and keep going. We're going to skip through this. Yeah, so right here, there is some video content. I did want to show it. There's a highlight video. If you want to look at it, you could scan the QR code, but it'll also be in the PDF pack that Meg has for you guys. And then the next slide, I think, is Q&A, and I think I'm over time. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Thomas, particularly for joining us on your vacation, and a special thank you to your wife for loaning you to us as well. So again, I just want to I want to share like all of the good things that I heard from ADC as I was talking to folks, and Thomas's work. And so I just really encourage, as folks who are doing or exploring or interested in drone work in your own jurisdictions, talking to DEC, connecting with folks like Thomas, and learning from one another, particularly in such a place where such remote responses are important. And I personally, seeing your photos, can't wait to get myself up there. It's
Awesome.
beautiful. Yeah, so thank you. If we have questions or comments from folks, we'll get those to you, Thomas, but no pressure to respond to them before you're back at your desk, and enjoy Hawaii.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's see. It's a couple minutes after 3. I think what I'd like to do is give everyone 10 minutes. Feels like a hearty enough break to actually clear your minds a little bit. We'll reconvene at 3:15. So I lied. That's 9 minutes from now. We have from 3:15 to 4:15, so an hour, on the topic of particularly good collaboration. And I'm really honored and excited to have 4 folks sharing kind of different aspects of that. So we'll spend the final hour of today doing that. And then just a couple moments of wrap up that I have for you, and we'll get you fully wrapped up by 4:30 our time. So about 9-minute break. I'll put that in the